everybody. I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Tom.
And this is
Our Recovery Life.
First thing is first. How did we get tonight's topic?
Tonight's topic, we got that off the Facebook page. And Chaz and Lanita sent that in.
Thanks, guys.
And that was on Our Recovery Life Facebook group.
Yes. And tonight's topic is?
Sponsorship and mentorship.
So, why is that so important?
Well, you kind of need a roadmap. If you just pull out of the driveway and you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're going to end up.
I can relate.
So you went to get a pack of cigarettes and were gone for a week and a half too?
So many times.
So you want to find a sponsor or a mentor, depending on the fellowship or support group that you have. I'm in a 12-step group.
Okay.
So I have a sponsor. I work the steps with my sponsor. I also tried to pick a sponsor that I could relate to. And the first sponsor that I had, I went to a speaker meeting.
Okay.
And he was speaking. He had a lot of clean time. He had a lot of good things to say. And so at the end, during the smoke break, I asked him if he would sponsor me. And that was not easy. I wandered around and waited till, I'll ask him right before that cigarette goes out. And that was gone and in the thing, and he's about ready to grab the door, and I'm like, just do it. So I asked him, and he said he would be my temporary sponsor because he had a lot of things going on, and he just...
Which is understandable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So... I had him for a sponsor. He bought me a book that night because he's
nice.
like, "Oh, do you have a book? You should start reading the book." And so he bought me a book, and then I was on the look, and I found somebody that I thought I could relate to really well, and was had a service position and all this stuff, and asked him, and he accepted, and I hit the ground running because.
Full steam ahead.
Oh, yeah. Because early recovery, I thought there was a destination, and I like to get it done,
Got to get to the finish line.
Yeah, so I knocked out 3 steps, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
And one night he called me up, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I can't make it. Can you swing by, grab the stuff, and, do the secretary deal for me?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no problem." So
it's a trap.
Yeah, it actually kind of was because he ended up relapsing, moving out of state, and I was the secretary for that meeting for a year and almost 2 years.
So a good trap.
So it was a good trap.
Good.
It worked out a little better for me than him, I believe. I don't really know how that situation ended, but... then I was lost, I'm like, well, what, earlier in recovery, I'd made friends, and then they'd relapse, and so I was, gun shy. And so I talked to my grant sponsor, so that would be the person that sponsored the person that was sponsoring me.
Okay.
And he suggested somebody that he was another one of his sponsees because, he had too many, he was too busy, whatever. And so that relationship worked out really, really well. A couple years more clean, further along in the steps, and he was headed in the direction that I wanted to go.
That's big.
That's how I picked him. So how was your pickings?
How I found mine was right after I got out. I remember calling you, and I think I seen you in a meeting or something, and I asked you right away, and there's quite a bit of difference between us two, and I didn't even know if I had my vehicle yet or not, but I just know I was making it down here to get to meetings, and so I just knew that with we're both being kind of early on, and the distance, I just knew right away that my addict ups was gonna put that. Oh, it's too tough to get there. It's too there was just too many outs. The couch was too comfortable. It's too far away. So I remember talking to you a little bit and started looking for another sponsor, someone that was a little closer to me and that more in the meetings that I was going to be in at the time, and and so I waited. I waited and waited and looked for that perfect person.
Yep.
And, the person with a bunch of clean time that wasn't making any mistakes, that was just going to, like, give me the magic potion, right. Bruise something up, give it to me, and then I was going to be fixed and that person doesn't exist, And so I sat on the outside and watched people and learned early on that it wasn't the drugs that made me. It was, we all have mistakes. No one's perfect, and so on the outside looking in, I started looking for someone that wanted had something that I wanted. And so I waited and finally talked to you and said, hey, this is the person. You were like, no, that's a great choice. And and so that kind of gave me enough courage. I think it took me a couple of weeks even after that, being around that person, to finally I was like, yeah, this feels right. And then I just asked, and that's weird that, I could walk into a room full of crazy things happen with guns and, things could blow up at any time, and felt totally at home, but asking a gentleman to be my sponsor, my mentor, like, I was afraid of that.
Right.
So it's crazy the things we're comfortable with and the things that we're uncomfortable with. But
it's like asking a girl out in high school.
100%. I remember it was like my palms are wet and I was like, what's going on here? And so, I looked for that. I waited, and someone that had some, it's probably one of my biggest accomplishments that I have to date is that I started a relationship with someone that didn't have something that I to give to me.
Right.
All my other relationships before that, there's always an unknown transaction, whether it's female or I have something in my pocket, you have money. Like,
right.
There's always that. Where this was one of my first times where this person per se didn't have anything to give to me. Little did I know that he had so much to give to me. But, just early on, I didn't know that. And so I just really kept my ears open and my eyes and just watched him, holy cow, this person's going through stuff. And it's like I said, one of my number one biggest accomplishments is that relationship today. And then I just ask him, hey,
right.
I need help. I can't do this. And then luckily he said yes, because, it was still, and it goes in spurts. It goes, there's times that we're really, really, really close, and then we kind of, life happens. And
right.
But, I'm super proud of that relationship. So what do you look for or what should they look for, things in a sponsor or mentor that could help?
Well, you definitely want to find somebody in the same support group or fellowship that you're in. Somebody you can relate to. Somebody that has achieved what you want to achieve. You want to pick somebody that is somewhat where you want to go.
Okay.
Because they have paved that road and they can
For sure.
show you how to get there. Like you said, nobody's perfect, but you want to find somebody that when they make mistakes, how they handle their mistakes.
Oh, it's a big one.
Yeah, so that's the main things to do.
Yeah, and for me it was, there was a certain surrender where I had to go, this person has something I want, and I don't know how to do that, and you have what I want, and show me how to live. Someone that I felt comfortable enough saying those words, that I don't have it figured out. Every time I do this, I end up back in the same place.
Right.
I'm terrified of a normal life, and you know how to do it. So how
Right.
know, and also someone that's living the program. There's don't just look for someone who talks and says good things. Look for someone that is actually working the program. And like you said, I think you hit it. When problems happen, do they own up? Do they take it on the chin and stand up and say, or are they just a lot of pointing the fingers and a lot of, smoke and mirrors and the Wizard of Oz thing, because
right.
there's those people out there that look great, but, So I think someone that's living the program, that's a huge thing to look for.
I also think that you should look for somebody that's going to be honest with you.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Tell you how it is, so that they're not co-signing your BS. Yeah, that's what your friends are for.
That's exactly right. No, I can't agree more. That is the accountability, and that someone is going to have enough backbone to say, maybe we could look at this a little different, or how about you do a gratitude list before, or let's write this down and talk about it, and see what it looks like tomorrow. Because sometimes really it's all about just buying time, but someone that can hold you accountable, because man, oh man, that's such a huge piece, and someone that's living the program, whatever program you happen to be in, and the biggest thing is we can't do this alone. Like, I think personally, my addict, very early on, especially early on, tried to keep me separate and let me know that I wasn't a part of, and these people are different, and we can't do this alone. No. And I think that's why accountability and mentors and a strong group around you, why it's so important.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're looking for a sponsor and whatever's holding you back, if you're scared to ask, afraid to say no, you don't know how to have a relationship with somebody else that doesn't entail, like, you give me this, I give you that sort of thing, try and break through that fear.
Yeah.
Anybody with a lot of clean time has been there, and even if they do say no, they might
I have a good person. I have a
person I know somebody, or they're just too busy, or they have too many sponsees already. Just ask. That's the main thing.
And because it all goes back to, we can't do it alone, and we need someone to help us through the process, through life's turmoils, and that's a muscle that, and I want to hit on this, that's a muscle that you have to continue to work on, even in the good times. Reach out, hey, how's it going? Like, especially for me in the beginning, I had to reach out to my sponsor on a lot of little things. Mm-hmm. So when something big happened, I was so used to reaching out to him that it was easy, that it wasn't just picking up the phone saying,
right.
Well, because that's hard to do to someone you don't know, you know. So it's important to get that relationship and just checking in every day on the little things, because big things are going to happen.
Right. Yeah, the first 3 years, I probably didn't call my sponsor 20 days.
Yeah, and
it was real important.
It's very, very important. So on that note, fight the good fight.
Keep it clean.